So, if your business is part of the U.S. defense supply chain, or hey, if you want to be, you're going to want to listen up. There's a new set of roles called CMMC, and believe me, it's about to change everything when it comes to cybersecurity. So, what's it mean for you? Let's decode it. To really get why CMMC is even a thing, you have to start with this number: $600 billion. Now, that was the estimated global cost of cybercrime way back in 2017. Can you imagine what it is today? This isn't just a number on a slide. It's a massive threat to our economy and our security. And you know who gets a huge piece of that unwanted attention? The U.S. Defense Industrial Base. Our adversaries aren't just messing around. They are actively stealing our intellectual property, our secrets, and our technological edge. So what's the Department of Defense's answer to this giant ongoing heist? You guessed it, it's CMMC.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into that billion-dollar threat. Then we'll nail down exactly what CMMC is. After that, we'll help you find your CMMC level, walk through what the assessment actually looks like, and then, most importantly, we'll give you the first steps you can take to get ready.
Okay, let's dive right in with the big picture, the billion-dollar threat. We're going to talk about why this isn't just another piece of government red tape. It's absolutely essential for our national and economic security. So when we say Defense Industrial Base, or DIB, what are we really talking about? Well, it's not just a handful of huge aerospace companies. We're talking about a sprawling network of over 300,000 businesses, from the big guys all the way down to small mom-and-pop shops. And every single one of them is a potential open door for hackers trying to get their hands on data that supports our men and women in uniform. It makes the DIB a constant, juicy target. And let's be crystal clear about the stakes here. When that data gets stolen, it's not just a business loss. It literally erodes America's technological edge. It hands our playbook to our rivals. At the end of the day, it puts our entire national security at risk. It's that serious. So you see the problem. It's huge. How in the world does the DoD even begin to plug all those holes? Well, that brings us right to the solution, the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. Let's talk CMMC. If you remember one word about CMMC, make it this one: verification. See, for years, the government kind of just asked contractors to be secure. Now, with CMMC, they're going to verify it. It's a whole new framework to make sure that companies can actually truly protect the sensitive government info that they handle every day.
Now, to really get CMMC, you have to understand the two flavors of information it protects. First, you've got federal contract information, or FCI. Think of this as basic business info that's not meant for the public. But then you've got controlled unclassified information, or CUI. Now, this is the really sensitive stuff. We're talking technical drawings, engineering data, you name it. It's not top secret, but it absolutely needs to be protected. And which of these you handle, well, that changes everything.
Okay, so that distinction between FCI and CUI leads us right to the million-dollar question for every single contractor out there. What's your CMMC level? Let's figure out where your business fits into this puzzle. This is it. This is the question that's on everybody's mind. And here's the good news. You don't have to guess. The DoD is going to spell it out for you, right in the contracts you're bidding on. Your required level will be right there in black and white. Let's start at the beginning with Level 1. This is called foundational for a reason. It's the baseline for anyone who just handles that first category of data we talked about, FCI. So Level 1 is pretty straightforward. If your company only touches federal contract information, this is you. The requirements are basically 15 common-sense cyber hygiene practices that you should probably be doing anyway. And here's the really key part. It only requires an annual self-assessment. You do it yourself, and you report it. All right, now we're going to step it up a notch. Welcome to Level 2 Advanced. And yeah, as the name suggests, things get a whole lot more serious here. Level 2 is the big one. This is for any contractor that handles that more sensitive CUI. And we're not talking 15 practices anymore. Nope. You have to meet all 110 security controls from the NIST 800-171 standard. Assessments happen every 3 years. And here's the catch. Depending on the contract, it might be a self-assessment, or you might need an official third-party assessor to come in and check your work. And finally, we get to the top of the mountain. Level 3, the expert level. This is reserved for companies working on our nation's most critical defense programs. Level 3 is for the big leagues. We're talking about companies that handle CUI for the DoD's absolute highest priorities. It takes everything from level 2 and adds even more controls. The specific goal here is to protect against what we call advanced persistent threats, or APTs. Think sophisticated, state-sponsored hacking teams. And at this level, no self-assessments. Government officials show up and conduct the assessment themselves.
Okay, so you know the levels. Now let's get down to brass tacks and talk about the assessment process itself. What are the dates you need to circle on your calendar, and what are the absolute must-haves?
All right, everybody, take a note of this. November 10th, 2025, that is the day CMMC requirements officially start showing up in contracts. But, and this is super important, it's not a light switch that just flips on. It's a phased rollout over 3 years. The first year will mostly be about those level 1 and level 2 self-assessments, which gives the industry some much-needed time to get up to speed.
I want you to read this quote. Read it carefully. This is pulled word for word from official DoD guidance, and it is the last thing you ever want to see. It's basically a game over message before you even start. So, what could possibly cause such a sudden stop? It all comes down to one single document, your System Security Plan, or SSP. Think of the SSP as the blueprint for your entire cybersecurity program. It details how you're meeting all those security rules. And the DoD could not be more clear on this. If you show up for an assessment without a complete, up-to-date SSP, the assessment is over. Period. Okay, I know that sounds a little intimidating, but don't worry. So with all this in mind, what can you actually do right now to start getting ready? Let's talk about your first steps on the CMMC journey. Here's a super simple 3-step plan to get the ball rolling. First, do a self-assessment. Just be honest and check your systems against the CMMC level you think you'll need. Second, for any area where you fall short, create what's called a Plan of Actions and Milestones, or a POAM. It's just a formal to-do list for fixing things. And third, check out the free resources the DoD provides. They have training available right now that you can use. Look, 2025 is coming up faster than you think, and these rules are not optional. CMMC isn't just another compliance headache. It's the new price of admission if you want to work with the Department of Defense. So the only real question left is your business going to be ready?